For centuries, the Gupta Empire held the Indian subcontinent together, but by the middle of the 6th century, that massive, unified state fractured. Historically, the collapse of a central power is associated with a total civilizational decline. However, the end of the Gupta era led to a period of intense activity and regional growth. The subcontinent became a crowded arena of emerging powers. The Chalukyas, Pallavas, Palas, Pratiharas, and Rashtrakutas each established independent centers of power, constantly pushing their borders against one another. This political fragmentation functioned as a pressure cooker. With no single emperor to dictate the rules, regional rulers had to innovate their administration and culture to survive the constant competition. The city of Kanauj, located in the fertile Ganga Valley, became the focal point of this struggle. The Palas, Pratiharas, and Rashtrakutas fought for its trade routes in the tripartite struggle. Since no ruler could achieve total conquest, kings maintained control through decentralized loyalty networks. They relied on samantas, who governed smaller territories in exchange for military service. These kings used land grants as specific economic tools. By giving tax-free land to religious institutions, they incentivized the clearing of forests and the rapid expansion of agriculture to fund their armies. While kings focused on these complex loyalty networks and border wars, they could not manage every aspect of rural life. This forced local communities to develop their own systems of oversight. Evidence of this autonomy is preserved in the 10th century Uttarameru inscription. It details a highly organized democratic system where village committees were chosen by lot, and members were held to strict disqualification rules if they failed their duties. This political landscape created a dual-layered resilience. Rulers maintained power through strategic loyalty networks at the top, while villages developed self-governing institutions at the bottom. Beyond the battlefield, regional kings competed through stone and architecture. In a crowded political landscape, building the most magnificent structure was a way to legitimize a dynasty's right to rule. The Rashtrakuta king Krishna I commissioned the Kailashanatha temple at Ellora. Carving this entire multi-story complex downward from a single hillside required immense engineering skill, serving as a physical projection of royal prestige. At the same time, the Chalukyas were developing the Visara style at temples like the Virupaksha, blending northern and southern designs to create a unique regional identity that distinguished them from their rivals. This competitive drive for prestige eventually reached beyond royal monuments and into the daily lives of the population. The Bhakti movement emerged, led by saints like the female poet Andal. They advocated for a direct, emotional connection to the divine, bypassing the complex rituals required by the older imperial traditions. Because these saints sang and wrote in regional languages, like Tamil, rather than formal Sanskrit, their ideas were accessible to everyone, regardless of social status. This decentralized landscape broke the imperial monopoly on culture. To secure influence, regional rulers patronized the languages and religious movements of their people, turning art and faith into regional expressions of identity. To maintain their status as centers of excellence, regional courts sponsored scholars in mathematics and astronomy. This localized patronage led to significant breakthroughs, most notably from the mathematician Brahmagupta. Brahmagupta established the first clear rules for calculating with negative numbers and zero. He also estimated the Earth's circumference and observed that objects fall toward its center due to a natural force of attraction. While these regional courts flourished, the northwest border faced incursions from the Hunas and later the Arabs in Sindh. These foreign powers were largely held in check by dynasties like the Pratiharas and Chalukyas, but the conflict created a sustained period of contact and exchange. This map shows how Arab mathematicians adopted the Indian decimal system and zero. They transmitted these tools to Europe, where they replaced cumbersome Roman numerals and enabled the complex calculations required for modern physics and engineering. While regional kings guarded their political borders, their courts served as competing laboratories for knowledge. When international traders reached these prosperous hubs, they encountered refined ideas that were soon carried across vast oceans. The collapse of the unified Gupta Empire created a specialized landscape where each region developed its own distinct political and cultural identity. The absence of a single dictating center allowed multiple centers of excellence to thrive simultaneously. This regional autonomy was the primary driver of the period's architectural and scientific output. This era forged the specific languages, established distinct religious traditions, and created unique artistic styles that define the states of modern India. It raises a final question. Could it be that an era defined by political division actually established the essential foundation for India's enduring cultural diversity?